Alright, here we go with a Sloth game in Customs. There's no point trying to build any suspense because, let's be honest, Sloth is going to be in the thumbnail. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I get the Sloth very early in this particular game. And there it goes. So appears in the shop, turn 2. So pretty much ideal, I would say. You know, getting the Sloth this early, I can't remember if I have Frog in this pack or not, but a high percentage of custom packs are going to have Frog in them. So if we can just stack the Beaver here, then we can look for a Frog and potentially swap the stats. Not sure why I'm thinking about selling the Lemming here. Okay, we do have Frog for sure, so that's a good thing. I've definitely had Sloth games this year where I hung on to the Sloth forever trying to find a Frog in order to swap stats off, you know, like a Marmoset or something. And then I never found it. I don't remember if I uploaded that game or not, but there have been a lot of Sloths this year. It used to be in the olden days that finding a Sloth was so rare that pretty much every Sloth run I had would get uploaded. I don't know if it's something to do with my playstyle changing or what, but these days I just find them all the time. I'm pretty sure the odds have not changed. I guess it's also dependent on how frequently you roll in any given game. You know, there'll be some playstyles where people are optimizing, they're not rolling that much. Whereas most of the time, I'm just hard rolling for combo pieces for videos. So it's not surprising that I find Sloths all the time. And yeah, way too many of them to actually make videos on all of them. That was Metabrusk, I think. We're just going to keep statting up our tier 1 because we know we're going to swap the stats onto the Sloth at the first chance we get. I don't think this was a random pack, as we actually face not a game devlog. Everyone's out to try and ruin the Sloth run today. Okay, yeah, we'll just keep using the rabbit stats. And then we get the double Hoopo, so we're going to take that instead. Having just lost a heart, I'm definitely not going to mess around. Now, hunting for a Sloth in Customs has gone through a bunch of different, I guess, periods or phases. Way back, what people used to do was play Alpaca games over and over. Alpaca had a slightly different ability. Actually, there's a Frog in the shop, so we can now swap the stats over. Perfect. And then sell the Beaver, bring in the Turtle. Yeah, in the olden days, Alpaca had an even stronger ability where it could give 2 chocolates at once. And that meant that you could very quickly farm up a team of high-level tier 6s. I mean, obviously you can still do something similar now, but you know, if you've had a Sloth when you had Alpaca, you could just be buying the Sloth and instantly getting the double chocolate immediately. Doesn't quite work that way anymore. However, of course, in the interim, we then got Quetzalcoatl, which is in most of my custom packs a lot of the time anyway. Mainly because there are a lot of builds that I'm going for where I need experience on low tier units, and it's just so efficient using Quetzalcoatl instead of having to mess around with buy, sell, crow, or just rolling the chocolate in the shop. So we did get double chocolate here from the crows, and we're actually going to go for the Nyala level instead. And that's the reason why, because we immediately get Quetzalcoatl, which I think I'm going to take after getting rid of the Hoopo. Yep. Getting the level 2 Nyala is a good enough power spike, I think, since we still have the Turtle plus big unit at the front. And also having the Amalgamation should give the Golden Retriever some mana when it comes in. Here's Wombat as well. It's an absolute who's who of Customs opponents in SAP today. We don't really need to take the Flounder because the Quetzalcoatl it only needs 2 more turns to get the Sloth to level 3. In fact, we don't even need that. I think we can just take the chocolate now. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, I guess since I have 3 hearts, it does make more sense to level the Nyala first, because it's more important to make sure that we stay alive than it is to, go for the level 3 Sloth. It's basically guaranteed at this point that we will get level 3 Sloth. So, yeah, correct decision there, I think. Kind of an unusual team here with Abomination. Didn't notice what they had inside it there. We get the mushroom as well. So many times when I'm playing customs, I won't have the correct equipment, in a pack to be able to give a Sloth run a chance. You'll get to the end game and then it's all just either stat food or, some of the weaker perks where really you just need mushroom, melon, steak. And as you can see here, Nyala plus mushroom is still absolutely nonsensical. Turn 11, summoning a 48 doggo. The opposing team even has a doggo of their own, but it's 30 stats weaker, which is pretty silly. But we do only have 6 trophies, so we are going to have to win quite a few more turns before we can feel comfortable that this team could make it. And yeah, okay, we're going to freeze the sunfish. I didn't study the pack contents way back at the beginning close enough to remember what's present here, but yeah, we should definitely freeze stingray as well. Anything in the top echelon of pets should be getting frozen, because unlike most runs, the only thing that matters here is trying to win. I mean, if you think about it at this point, I don't know how many sloths I've had total, but it must be over 100, surely. I used to actually count them, but at some point it just becomes depressing. And I've definitely this year had some on the test server as well, which I don't think I'd had that in previous years. But I've played a lot of tests this year, and it's very annoying when you get a sloth on test, because even if you did get the achievement, it's not going to count for anything. So Turtle has to go now. It has been really useful, against the ailment teams, but it's taking up too much real estate on the team, and bringing in the Stingray should help us against opposing teams that have very large units already. We're definitely reaching the witching hour here at turn 13, where every team is just going to get progressively more outrageous. And yeah, we're already starting to face behemoths. So here's Behemoth, Cat, Monkey. And are we going to be all right? Maybe not. We might be able to scrape a draw here. Or actually it is going to be a win, because we still have the doggo. And we turn the cat into a farmer crow, which actually helps them. But yeah, we do win. So now we're feeling pretty good, because, now we only need 2 more wins. The Nyala with mushroom is basically a 50-50 on its own. And then we find another stingray. So next turn we can get level 2 sock. And then look at this. Turn 14, a very weak team in comparison to ours, with the jellyfish and badger at the back. I wonder if that hammerhead shark was transformed from something else. So we're not even going to need the doggo. So turn 15, 3 hearts left. All we need is 1 more win for the nightmare to be over and the level 3 sloth ribbon to be in my collection. Now I do have the sloth badge already, of course, that's why it didn't pop up during this run. But yeah, the ribbon has eluded me for a long time. Turn 15, unfortunately it's level 3 hatching chick and behemoth. Also geometric tortoise and tiger, so a who's who of best units in customs. Actually, was the previous team geometric tortoise as well? I don't remember exactly. But obviously the doggo is not going to have quite enough here to get to the hatching chick in the back line. And that was a huge stat team, and we had level 2 sock as well. In fact, we're just going to refresh it since we're on 9 wins already. I guess here I would just be looking for equipment for the stingray. Maybe you could justify selling the stingray here and taking a taking the Octo. Skunk, Behemoth, Monkey, Bakunawa. So that's not looking too good. We actually end up messing up our own team here because the Goblin Shark prevented the Skunk from getting sniped by the Hawk, I think. So I think if with different spawns from the Baycat there, I'm pretty sure we would have won that game. So yeah, that was pretty painful. So now we're down to 1 heart. We need luck to be on our side. And the matchmaking says 1 Behemoth is not enough. And here is Nick Resney. I was originally thinking about censoring his name here so that he didn't suffer any reprisals as a result of this, but this run actually happened way back in August. So he's already well aware that he tanked my best level 3 Sloth run in a long time. And it did bring me a tiny bit of comfort to know that despite his double Behemoth cat stack, he still lost his run as well.